it's me. Hey guys, it's me, Thunderstorm. I'm back again. I just posted yesterday, so I'm going to try and get back into the thing. But I'm excited about this. So here we go. Scott's Cawthon, or slash 5 minutes already posted by you/Adam Dude Scott Cawthon 2 hours ago. Bad news about the FNAF movie. I'm going to read it all. It's going to be a long one. Okay? Hi everyone. Before we get to the bad news concerning the state of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, I wanted to share a brief history of the FNAF screenplay. It's been a long road, so let's take a look at some of the screenplays that have come and gone over the years, in no particular order. Or feel free to skip to the end really quick to see the bad news and then come back and enjoy the list. Some of these came from big studios, some from big directors, some from me, and some from other hired writers. I gave the screenplays a name, and I'll include a brief synopsis as well as what ultimately led to each screenplay being rejected. Let's get started. The F screenplay. Basic setup. Group of teenage troublemakers break into Freddy's. Chaos ensues. Problems. Although a pretty basic setup, there were a lot of odd choices here, which only got weirder as the story continued. The story ended with our protagonists in a secret underground animatronic factory that was designing robots for the government. Verdict, WT at hashtag, whatever that one is, at simple. Strayed way too far from course material, tossed. The Plushies Take Manhattan, screenplay. Basic setup, Plushies Take Manhattan. Problems, Plushies Take Manhattan. Verdict, burned with fire. The Random Charlie screenplay. Basic setup, Charlie and friends sneak into Freddy's after hours to retrieve a lost toy. Problems. Although sharing names of familiar characters from the series, these characters have nothing to do with their game and book counterparts. So while featuring similar elements of the games, it seemed too loosely based on the game and lost a lot of its impact because of it. Verdict. Felt like a random bag of FNAF elements with no real stakes. Meh. Silver Eye screenplays. Basic setup. Kira and I both worked on versions of the Silver Eye screenplay over the course of about a year, trying to find the right approach to the story from the first book. Problems. These were the first attempts I made myself to write a screenplay after realising it was going to be difficult to find someone else who understood the lore well enough to do it. Unfortunately, it also meant these screenplays suffered greatly from my inexperience at writing. Even Kira, with her writing skills expertise, couldn't save them. Verdict. Although these had some good elements, I ultimately decided to focus on making a screenplay from the games and not from the books. The Pawn Shop screenplay. Basic setup. A kid who watches after a pawn shop finds trouble when an animatronic is brought in. It turns out Freddy's has been robbed and the animatronics were taken to different locations for sale. The other animatronics come to retrieve the one at the pawn shop, and the kid and his friends get roped into an adventure. Problems. A creative approach, but felt a little too much like a boy and his animatronics. Too much after-school adventure, not enough horror. Verdict seemed like a good idea at the time. The Cassidy screenplay. Basic setup. Diving deep, this screenplay packed in a lot of lore following the story of Cassidy. Problems. Spanning multiple time periods, following multiple characters, and featuring lore from multiple games, this is pretty saturated to a fault. It may have been satisfying to the most hardcore fans, but it would have left the majority of people confused and lost. Maybe this was the most accurate screenplay. Verdict. Ultimately more of a visual encyclopedia than a movie. This just wasn't satisfying, even to me. Out! The Misfit Kid screenplay. Basic setup. Single mom brings her kid to a new town. Kid finds Freddy's. Hilarity ensues. Problems. One of the problems in creating a modern day story with an old Freddy's setting is finding a way to connect the protagonist to the restaurant, finding a reason for them to be there, and finding a reason for them to stay. The problem here was that the reason for the kid to go to Freddy's and have misadventures was too contrived and too forced. Verdict. Not a bad setup, but it just didn't work. If I don't care about the characters, then there's a good chance no one else will either. Pass. This was going to be the screenplay for a while, but it didn't have any serious flaws. I ultimately just decided it wasn't good enough though. The Ghost Trackers screenplay. Basic setup. A group of amateur ghost trackers sneak into the abandoned Freddy's. Problems. Although a very common sense setup for this sort of movie, the problem again arose about how to give these characters a connection to Freddy's itself. What ended up happening was too much of the story went to their own backstories and their own hardships, and took the spotlight away from the story of Freddy's. Verdict. A stronger connection between protagonists and Freddy's was needed. Lesson learned. The Insane screenplay. Basic setup, another ghost tracker variation. This would involve the Funtime animatronics, underground ball pit tunnels, and Marionette Out for Revenge. And a Marionette Out for Revenge. Problems. As some other screenplays ventured too far into adventure, this one went too far into action. Verdict. Too all over the place with too many characters doing too many things. The Mike screenplay. Basic setup. This makes sense. Why didn't I think of this before? Problem? Actually, this is a good mix. It has the best piece from all the previous screenplays. Not really any problems here. Alright. All the right characters, all the right motivations, all the right stakes. Verdict. Yeah, we're going with this one. It's fun, it's scary, and it had a great central story. Alright, so on to the bad news. The bad news is that there won't be any more screenplays to add to this list since we're officially making the Mike screenplay. Filming starts in spring! Woo! They're gonna start filming the FNAF movie in spring. I'm hyped. How long have we been going for? 6 minutes? I don't care. This is just gonna be just as annoying to upload as the last one, but I don't care. Woo! Movie starts filming in spring. The same month as the same season as my birthday. Woo, 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 woo. I am hyped for this. Honestly, why have I not been I'm literally moving. I cannot stay still anymore. This is exciting. The FNAF movie is gonna start being filmed in spring. Woo! Okay, I apologize. I will calm down. Okay, a second. Okay, I've calmed down a bit. But yes, FNAF movie will be starting filming in spring. Scott, you are such a troll. Such a troll. Troll. That is the trollest thing you could do at this very moment. I think, not really, but still. Alright, so on to the bad news. The bad news is that there won't be any more screenplays to add to this list. It's officially making the Mike screenplay filming starts in spring. That's not bad news, that's good news. You're just being a troll. Oh man. Scott. Good one. Well, don't really have much else to say other than read that to you guys and say that I'm freaking hyped. Hype. Tomorrow I will upload that video on the FNAF AR. I might talk about fight Plush Trap, that the toy, Woodland Toy Freddy and Boulder Toy Bonnie on one video, one big FNAF AR video, because I don't have any more. I don't have a Jackal Bonnie lure. I don't have a Day of the Dead Toy Chica lure. I can't remember the name of. But I've got Plush Trap, Woodland Toy Freddy and Boulder Toy Bonnie. I've got lures for them, so I might make a video on them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.